Okay, so obviously this morning, and some of you have probably already seen the schedule. This morning we're gonna go ahead and finish up kind of like a classroom session here, just an overview of some of the things that we see in preservation of cemeteries. We'll break for lunch. And this afternoon, we're gonna take kind of a walking tour of the cemetery. Then this afternoon, we're gonna do a little bit of cleaning. Yes, you are free labor, thank you. We're gonna clean some marble, a little bit of, I don't know if we have sandstone in this cemetery, in this area that we're gonna be working on. We do have granite, so we're gonna talk about how to clean those as well. And we'll talk about the different types of staining. What does environmental staining look like versus biological staining? And that'll help you decide what kinds of products you're gonna use to clean them. All right, then tomorrow we're gonna get into the repair of monuments, gravestones, markers, flat tablets, whatever. And that's going to include an injection grout type material that can be used as an adhesive or also as a void filler to prevent moisture from sitting within a stone and causing more damage. That's going to include a marble patching mortar as well for those areas where maybe you're just missing a chunk of stone. And it's a material that can be used. We'll talk a little bit about mortars as well and where those are used around multi-piece stones, and typically that's with limestone monuments. And what we're going to use for granite would be more of a setting, a joint compound type setting material. So we'll go through all of those things and how to apply them, how to drill out for pins, when to pin, when not to pin, the hazards of pinning. We'll talk about all those items. Break for lunch, and then we'll set and reset multiple piece monuments, so like 2 and 3 piece monuments. We'll do that. Raise and level some base stones, smaller stones. All that will be tomorrow. And then we'll do kind of a, I won't call it freelance, but kind of an open time where we're just walking around together. We're seeing something that might be different than what we had discussed earlier and say, okay, how would we address this situation? The problems here at Oak Hill Cemetery are the problems at every cemetery. You're going to see them all here. You're going to see things that you saw back home here. So if you see something that we haven't addressed, and you're like, man, I've got a bunch of this condition back home, let me know. Let's talk about it, okay? Mortars, let me talk about that for just a moment while we're on it. And I'm going to do this occasionally. I'm just going to kind of go squirrel on you. But I need to address some of these items because I know that not everything is in here. So mortar is, if you take the word mason work, which is M-A-S-O-N-W-O-R-K, and you take every other letter out. So you take the M, and then you skip the A, and now you have an S, and then you take the O away, and then you have an N, you take the W away, you have an O, vice versa. Take the R away, and now you have a K. What those are types of mortar based in hardness. So M is the very hardest. It's straight cement and sand, Portland cement and sand. Then you have S, which is the next harder. And then you have N, which is the next harder, goes softer, next softer. Then you have O, which is the next softest. And then you have type K. K is not the last mortar. K has a very tiny pinch of Portland cement. That's it. The last and most softest mortar is type L, which is not in that phrase. Type L is lime putty and sand. That's all it is. And everything prior to 1910, with the exception of natural cement mortars, was lime putty and sand. Okay, so something you're going to hear a lot is do no harm, and we'll talk about it tomorrow, this afternoon. Whenever you're looking at doing any kind of repair work whatsoever, even if it's just raising a stone and resetting it, it's do no harm. Think about how you're doing that. Am I going to throw a chain around that stone and pull it up with a hoist? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use a strap. If it's a small stone, I'm not using a hoist at all. I'm just going to dig it out. I'm going to get on my knees. I'm going to lift it out. They're not that heavy. And have a tarp. Lay it on it. Grass stains are difficult to get out of stone, believe it or not. So just always proceed with a do no harm type of attitude in that. Is my repair going to cause damage that's irreversible? That's the question. If you just Google, and this is not just cemeteries, if you Google National Park Service preservation briefs, you can get right to their website. They have briefs for just about anything associated with historic preservation. Windows, masonry, plaster, just about literally anything. Timber framing, cemeteries, obviously, iron repair, cast iron repair, things of that nature. A lot of work's been put into these. They're a great resource. They are based on the information we had at the time that they were written. So, for example, preservation brief number 2 is on masonry in old buildings. A lot of progress has been made in how restoration work gets done with masonry structures since then. There are things that we did 15 years ago that I am so embarrassed that we did, but we didn't know any better. We were doing the best we could at that time. And so keep that in mind with these as well. I mean, this is the information that they had at the time.